Welcome back, tech heads and gadget gurus, to another episode of Tech Times Daily. As always, I'm Chris Short, and I'll be your host for today. And with me, as always, is Christian. Christian,
Hello,
what's up, man?
everyone.
How's it going?
Good, good. How's everyone doing?
How's everything going on your end, man?
Yeah, pretty much same work and life.
Yeah,
Excited
good.
for today's discussion.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. This kind of touches on one we did a couple weeks ago with the Dudesy podcast, um, with another element. This one has a plot twist, right? Um, so I don't know if you know, I don't know if the fans or the viewers are aware of this story, but Drake released. So right now there's a bunch of rap beef, right? Like it's really popular or really popular. It's really hot right now. A lot of people coming at
Yeah,
each
we
other.
just we just had one with Eminem and Benzino, right?
Yeah,
It's ongoing
yeah. Well, that one's been going on
for two
for
decades.
decades now. Yeah, and Benzino actually broke down and cried on Drink Champs, but we won't get into that's a pop culture podcast for everybody. Um, but this one, man, like because you have like Kendrick Lamar came out and went at J. Cole and Drake. Um, and then J. Cole like came back and then he apologized, like in concert, he apologized, and people were like not very gangster.
Why?
And yeah, I guess J. Cole's a nice guy, I think. Like he's not about the bullshit really. And
Wasn't the
Kendrick,
squashing of wasn't the squashing of beef done behind the scenes and not during?
yeah, for the most part. But Kendrick's always been this way though. Like he's when he did
I think
the
he's from the current generation of rappers. So it's not of the times of Eminem when they were doing battle rap when it comes to diss tracks, right?
right.
Like, and I've heard one of Drake's diss track. It didn't actually go well for him.
Drake's not a battle rapper. Drake raps for the ladies. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? When he first came out and he was on that Lil Wayne mixtape, I thought he was the next GOAT, but he's moved. I guess people evolve, and he's more of a lover boy now, certified, apparently, according to his one of his more recent albums. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. Like he, in retaliation to Kendrick Lamar's jab at him, um, where he said, fuck the big three, it's just big me. And him and Drake and J. Cole were supposed to be the big three. Um, but so Drake drops Tailor Made.
Yeah.
Now, normally, as you mentioned a minute ago, normally I wouldn't give a shit about a Drake diss track because he's just not got it. He just don't have it. And but this one has an interesting twist. So he used the AI generated voices of arguably, in my opinion, two of the top three rappers in history. Right, you got Tupac and Snoop Dogg. Um, so and Tupac's estate is not happy. So wrote about this over on Tech Times. It says, legal action looms over Drake as Tupac's legal team threatens a lawsuit regarding the unauthorized use of an AI generated Tupac voice. This highlights the intersection of technology and intellectual property rights within the music industry, raising questions about the ethical and legal implications of using AI generated voices in creative works without proper authorization. In his latest track, Tailor Made, Drake features an AI generated Tupac soundalike, and it stirred some controversy and has definitely drawn the attention of Shakur's estate and the legal team. Um, so yeah, so what do you think, man? Is this just? I feel like stupidity is just in abundance these days.
Like Tupac has been dead as much as people want him to be alive.
Hmm.
Like, why even do this? Like, Does he want smoke from Snoop Dogg? Like Snoop is still alive.
That was going to be my next question is
Like
why use an AI generated voice of a living? That seems like that's a different level of unauthorized, you know,
and it can't be for shock value, but because he's not swimming in the island of irrelevancy at the moment. Like he is still
right,
relevant at this point. He should be proud. But
right. There's absolutely no logical reason to, with Tupac, maybe, right? But I mean, Snoop, like, you drop this. What are you gonna do when Snoop calls you and be like, "What are you doing, bro?"
even with the Tupac thing, like I can't understand why we actually think that this would go well.
I don't
Is
know.
he
And
looking for some street cred? The hip hop community have given up on that 10 years ago.
I mean, and I don't know, man. It's a strange thing. I'm not sure. Like you said, it's not for relevancy. It's not for, publicity. Obviously not for money. Drake's, filthy fucking rich. Um, it's just I feel like it's a very boneheaded dudesy move.
You're using dudesy as a verb now, right? So,
Yeah, yeah, it's a dudesy. Yeah, he pulled a dudesy for sure.
well, I don't think he's artistically stagnant at the moment. That's why he actually leaned on AI. Like he is already being accused of not writing his own work. Why even do this? Why even use AI? Like people could actually tell him that it's not only the voice that you got, maybe AI made your lyrics for you.
Well, I'm not going. I listened to the track. Well, I listened to Tupac on
It's
the
usually
part of it.
I've listened to the track. The lyrics are not usually the things that he actually writes.
Right. But it's not only is it insulting to use his likeness and his voice, I guess likeness, unauthorized, right? Like that's insulting to the entire estate, to the legacy of Tupac. That's insulting. But the lyrics that he is rapping are trash. Like it's not good. It sounds like him, and it also sounds like AI wrote it. I don't know if AI wrote it. I don't know if Drake wrote it and then put it into the thing for AI, but it is not Tupac level. Not even close. Tupac's worst song, which I don't even know that he has a bad one, but his worst song is a million times better than that bullshit that Drake put on that track.
Like
And that's
Snoop already reacted to this. Like he just thought it was amusing. But
yeah,
then
well,
again, 2024, he still doesn't understand how to do diss tracks. Like you go on collaborations to actually start a beef with someone, then you go on your own track with your own voice, with your own lyrics to actually continue that beef and diss other rappers. You don't use AI as a crutch.
right. It's such a strange thing. Um,
The
yeah,
majority of the
it's
disrespect when it comes to the hip hop community is just based on their skill. If you're not going to be showing your skill on your diss track, they're basically legitimizing what they're saying about you.
yeah, yeah, if anything, you're right. If anything, this backs up what Kendrick was saying. Like Kendrick saying, I'm the best. That of course, that's what rap is, right? It's one big competition for the most part. Um, and rightly so. It makes for great music. If you have a competitive nature about you, which K Dot has, I think immensely, um, an immensely large ego and competitive spirit, and I love it. I think it's great. He's one of my favorites all time. I got Good Kid, Mad City when it first dropped, and
Yeah.
that was my introduction to Kendrick Lamar, and I rocked that shit for about a month straight. Um, but
Did Drake suddenly think that the spirit of Tupac would suddenly well up on him just because of Hit 'Em Up
yeah,
being one of the greatest diss raps of all time? Like
this is not even close. This is like This is more on par with Happy Birthday than a diss track for me, coming from what they did to Tupac here. It's just not. But I mean, my question to you, man, is what do you think these people are thinking where they're just basically stealing likenesses and intellectual content and um just and they're kind of hiding behind the AI thing, like, oh, it's AI generated. Like I see a shitload of Joe Rogan clips online that's a video of him. It's his voice, but it's obviously not him.
Like this is basically the equivalent of digging someone up from the grave, right?
About as close as you can get, yeah.
This
In a
isn't
very
actually the
disrespectful way.
and even without AI, this is the first time that this actually happened. Like
Hmm,
I may be dating myself, but they've done this before with Natalie Cole and Not King Cole with a
right.
side by side video, them singing Unforgettable. They've done this with Elvis. They've done this with Prince, like recently we've discussed.
Yeah.
People sampling other artists because I think Eminem also did sample Tupac, but I think he got permission from Tupac's estate, right?
Right. He was allowed
For
to
for
produce
what song? California Love, I think is what he actually sampled, right?
oh no, he did an entire Eminem produced an entire Tupac record. Uh
Hmm.
who do you love? Tell me who do you love? That
Yeah,
was
but we know that whoever we're hearing was actually Tupac,
posthumous.
right?
Yeah, it
He
was
got the
unreleased Tupac
he got
lyrics. Yeah,
the permission from the state. That's
yeah,
respect,
yeah.
right?
That's how you're supposed to do it. Yeah.
But for this one, did Drake actually publicly advertise that the voice was supposed to be Tupac, or he didn't say it was Tupac and just had people guess that this what this was what he was going for?
Oh no, I think when he dropped it, it was featuring Snoop Dogg and Tupac.
Damn.
Stupidity, bro. It's like a whole new level. This is like it's making it's honestly moves like this are making AI look like intelligence and humans look like our intelligence is artificial. Because there's no way that you're thinking this is a good move.
Yeah, and the hypocrisy of him actually being against AI generated music. Like he's one of those people that actually spoke out about this.
Uh, I don't know, man. I feel like there's a point where you get so rich that you just lose touch. Like you don't know, what's up and what's down at some point. It's just you live in a bubble. People around you tell you, you're the greatest. You never hear no. People love you everywhere you go. Like you become disassociated with
Yeah.
reality, and then you make moves like this.
Like in terms of the history, like we just had a case where Ed Sheeran actually came out of court and won regarding similar sounding songs, right?
Hmm.
In the future, and I guess we had in the past when it comes to sampling, but that was usually just for audio. I
Right.
mean for melody. Now we
Yeah.
might be going to court in the future listening to cases regarding voices,
Yeah.
stolen identities by artists.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you remember D Nice, the rapper that sounded just like Eminem, but
I think so.
it wasn't any
There's a lot of
technological.
rappers that are trying to sound like him.
No, I mean this dude sounded just like him to where he was dropping tracks and people were like, "Is this Eminem?" And then later it came out like, "No, this is dude named D Nice. He sounds just like him. He's actually pretty good." But there was never any blowback on D, which he also wasn't mainstream, like super mainstream. He had some, some hits or whatever, not hits. He had some tracks that you know we as hip hop fans discovered because Um, but there was never like no legal blowback because he never claimed
He was Eminem.
right.
And why would
Like,
you?
yeah, because right, that's stupid. So why would you take living or dead? I don't understand. I just don't understand the thought process behind this. It's befuddling to say the least.
And Drake can't actually say that he's not talented, right? That's why we
Right.
feel this way that this was a dumb move on his part. Like sooner or later, we're gonna have a discussion regarding AI and the artistic license it's actually providing people
Yeah,
when it comes to making their content, because it's no longer limited to what you see on screen. It's also what you hear.
yeah, yeah. It's I don't know, man. It's yeah, I mean, even the Tupac estate, they're not it says they were not only displeased with his unauthorized use of Tupac's voice, but also considered a disrespectful exploitation of Tupac's legacy. And I think that's the bigger, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
illegal, maybe, or unauthorized use like copyright infringement or whatever it may be. But it's exploitation.
yeah. He just basically dug someone from his grave and actually asked them to collab with him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, why stop if this is okay? Why stop at Tupac? Like you said, why not do you know
He didn't
everybody?
even stop at Tupac. He went after someone that's still alive.
Which makes no sense. It
I
makes
can
no
understand if
sense.
he did it with actually Tupac and then Big, right?
Yeah,
That would be weird. Them in the track.
yeah. I don't know, and why not just
Like
I
we
don't
already
know.
have this thing with with Puff Daddy. Don't add anymore. Like
Oh God, dude, we don't
please,
even want to
bro.
get started on. Yeah,
Let's not
yeah,
add
but
any more to that.
yeah, that's a fucking well, that shit is bananas. I heard somebody call it the Diddy package plan for like you become
Yeah.
famous, but you know, like it makes selling your soul to the devil seem not so bad if you rather than selling your butt to Diddy.
Maybe this was part of the contract with the devil for Drake.
Hey, I don't know, man. This just doesn't make sense to me. I'm hoping that there's some type of clarification that comes out in the near future because it's still online. Like we just looked it up prior to starting here, so it's online, it's available,
And
and uh
repercussions of this could possibly be that other artists that are actually utilizing technology for their art in a responsible way will be looked at differently now.
right, right. Well, it says here, litigator Howard King, or the litigator is Howard King. I guess he's an attorney for the Shakur estate. He said they're poised to challenge Drake's actions in court if the song remains accessible online.
Still
Um,
online.
it's
Just check.
online as of 15 minutes ago.
Even if we actually took it down, it's still gonna be shared by other people. It's never gonna leave.
Yeah, yeah, these things don't go. Internet's forever, as they say. But yeah,
Yeah, I just find it
I want to,
hypocritical that he spoke up against AI generated music and yet he actually used it on a diss track,
yeah,
no less.
not only is he disrespectful, he's also a hypocrite. So there. Uh, so I got to predict. I want a prediction from you, man. So we've had comedian infringement recently. Um, musical artist infringement. What do you think the next big overstep of just claiming? I don't know. I don't even know what to call it, man. I don't know how their brain works to justify this shit. But what do you think's next? We gonna get a
Politicians blaming politicians blaming F-ups on AI. That's the next step. Like they've been incorporating this technology and everything right now.
right?
Like military F-ups can now be attributed to AI blunders.
Well, going probably a political campaign or a political ad that's just 100% AI generated.
And if they send out a political ad that's not actually received well, they could just easily blame it on AI, right? So
Yeah, yeah,
we might be seeing it soon.
yeah. I'm guaranteeing. I like your prediction, man. I hadn't considered that. I was thinking like a short film, like starring, I don't know,
Like we've already had AI
Paul Walker. You know what I'm
meddling
saying?
with our film viewing. Like we have CG.
That
keeping
I
people
appreciate that
alive,
though.
especially in that I can appreciate because it actually is nostalgia.
Hmm.
But using someone in a diss track that is not part of your beef, like what does
Yeah.
Tupac care about Drake?
No, well, the only connection here is that they're all West Coast rappers except for Drake. Well, he's West Coast, I guess, but he's up there in Canada, West Coast, so he's not LA.
Then
You
I
know,
would have to bring it up with Drake that he thinks that he was gonna be respected by Tupac if he was actually alive now.
probably not. I can't remember who said it.
That
I think it might have been Eminem when he was dissing Ja Rule, but it was like Ja or Pac would never ride with you. Like he would not be a fan of your shit. But then again, I don't know how you can even say that because who knows what the fuck the dude likes. But yeah, but alrighty, well, I want some to the viewers. Yeah, if you guys stuck around for the whole thing, drop your predictions in the comments to who's the next, or at least genre. You know what I'm saying? Are we looking at movies, comedy, music, politicians, influencers now? I mean, those guys are on the chopping block too. Boxers, fighters.
competitive ice fishing.
Yeah. Yeah, as soon as we see like a mermaid pulled out of the ice in fucking Alaska, we'll be like, is this real? But yeah, again, thanks everybody for coming in and checking us out again today. And but yeah, that wraps up today's edition of Tech Times Daily. So again, we'll be back next time on Monday, I guess, for with more updates and discussions on the latest news in tech. Until then, stay curious, stay connected. For Christian DeHatters, I'm Chris Short. See you next time.